So a couple of people did comment. This one actual guitar player guy, I could tell he was a guitar player because he didn't badmouth me for sounding like crap. He said, "Hey, dude, check out my channel. I've got a bunch of videos about fixing your guitar, playing, and doing teaching stuff and blah blah blah." I said, "That is very nice of you." I'm just happy to get a positive comment, and and it does kind of piss me off, just me off. I'm not mad at anybody that comments to me, especially a positive comment. It's just that they think I'm just starting when I've been playing since I was 10. Well, I picked the guitar up when I was 10 because I wanted to be Ace Frehley. Couldn't play it for crap, and then I took some lessons from Joe at Larry Larson Music in Glendale, and then my friend Brent Woods kept getting better and better and better and better and better. Dude, how are you doing this? I mean, when a new Kiss album would come out, he would learn half of the songs like the next day. One, he's gifted. Not like in a special way, like, hey, I'm the whatever that movie is, the guy with the numbers or whatever, I can't remember. Rain Man, not that kind of gift. But he's an amazing guitar player. He can read music. He can put together stuff. He can arrange stuff. He's very good because he never stopped. When I stopped my music, boom. When I turned 30, I stopped. I had gigs booked up until June or July of that year, when 1995, 95 was it? Whenever I turned 30. And then I stopped. I, buzzed my hair because it was getting thin on top anyways, and I wasn't going to look like some aging old hippie. Because I don't like hippies. And that was it. That was it for me. I went back to school, or I had already gone back to school. I'd had my hair in a ponytail. I buzzed it all off except for in the very back, and then I just had that ponytail. And then I was hanging out with one of my ex-girlfriend's friends, and they're like, "Dude, that looks like a mullet." I'm like, "What?" He goes, mullet, those rednecks, I go, no, really? He goes, but they were all Mexican, like half Mexican, half like Scottish or something, or Irish, Mexican and Irish, drinking crazy metal punk rock crazies. I loved the guys. We would go so I lived down in Whittier with my girlfriend, their cousin. And they would send me into like a liquor store, and I was like such an odd thing to, long hair, white, makeup, and the guy's like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of lost. I'm trying to get to, and I just name a street that did not exist anywhere around Whittier, Pico Rivera, anywhere around there, Santa Fe Springs, all that crap. I lived out there for like 6 years, 7 years on and off. It was not, there's places in that area that are not bad. There's places in that area that are bazillionaires that live there, and private golf course and everything. And then there's, the starts to get worse the closer you get to the freeway. So we were pretty far from the freeway, but we were just outside the rich area. Anyway, so once I did that, cut everything off, and I was done. And I left music alone. I didn't do anything. The Blizzard thing, I stopped. Even it was my tribute to Randy, everything. So I know just about every song on the first 2 albums, Blizzard and Diary, on bass. I only know like 3 or 4 on guitar. I can only wing it. So I was thinking, I have had a song in my head all day. I go, okay, if I listen to it, I'm going to get screwed up even more, because there's things that I know that I'm going to miss, and I'm going to try to play that I don't know how to play. You confused? I'm already confused. So I'm just going to start playing, and I'm going to maybe try to play a song that's the second to the last on Diary of a Madman. Maybe. Because even we played that live, and that is a bitch to play that opening, because if you don't have keyboards making all those stupid noises, we tried guitar effects, we tried putting in a tape and playing to it. That wasn't bad, but if we were off tune a little with the tape, we were screwed. We had it was a pain in the ass. That's why we used to, play with the beginning of Mr. Crowley. It was a tape. And we'd have to have one of our guys put the tape in, hit play, and then we'd let it play, and we'd have to be in tune with that, because if you go in like a little off, it just sounds like you're wrong. Because everybody knows what Mr. Crowley, the beginning sounds like it's stupid organ and the keyboards or whatever. Trying to sound like an organ. Anyway, all that talking, I'm not going to talk anymore because I got to go. Gosh, I got to go now. Boy, I butchered that. Sorry about that. See ya.